This is extremely late for me to be live, but I just wanted to address something right quick. Sorry, I'm packing a pack of cigarettes while I'm outside before I go to bed. Smoking my last cigarette, and then I am headed to bed. I hope you guys have all had a good night. I just got a little tap nudge on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you're being mentioned in the live stream." So I decided to go over and look at said live stream. And at first I was kind of confused because I was like, well, in the big scheme of things, like, I don't know why she's so upset about XYZ. Speaking of crime sleuthing, because she's been involved in a lot lately. So it didn't really make sense that she would be this upset considering this is the attention she's obviously been seeking. And I'm just kind of sitting there listening, not really understanding what she's talking about because I had checked out a little while ago. So there has to have been something that happened between the last time I saw any of her streams till now. Hey, Britt. Hey, Running Bear. Hey, Anonymous. Hey, Fireflies. This won't be long. But if you guys have been here from the beginning, you'll understand what I'm saying. If not, you might. Well, I can just quickly repeat what's going on. Hey, Smiles. Hey, Ducking Fox. Hey, y'all. Nana's not drunk. So I got a text message. I was getting ready to put myself to bed because you guys know I'm old and go to bed early as hell. But I got a little nudge on the shoulder that said, "Hey, you're being mentioned in the live stream." So I was like, normally I don't give two fucks, but I was like, that's pretty fast. Like, normally people don't give a reaction to being called out on being a panel guest on somebody you're reviewing and whatever. Didn't really make sense at first. So I was like, okay, whatever. So, of course, I'm sitting there listening, and she is going all in about some shit that I didn't even know had happened yet. Like, from the time I watched the last of anything of hers, I didn't know she'd put a new video up, a new flyer up, like all this shit. So I was kind of confused at first, like, what? But then I'm continuing to listen to her, and she is just going off about how she's being picked on and how she's this and that. And then the next thing I know, she goes into a crying fit. And this is why I'm doing this. She goes into this tirade. She mentions me, Deets, and a few other people. Tracy Ann, Gavel Geeks, I think. I can't remember who else. I think, Melissa Jade. There was somebody else in there too. I can't remember who. She mentions us, and then she goes into this crying spree. And then she goes into detailing her health conditions and that when she's stressed out and when she's going through a hard time and when she's this. And the entire time I sat there and I said, the fucking audacity of you. I'm thinking to myself, the goddamn audacity of you. First of all, you won't blame me for any of what you're going through. You were a panel guest that made some very ridiculous statements with recorded audio, creating drama in a missing child's case. And you want me to have respect for you. Meanwhile, you're trying to manipulate everybody at the current time about how bad your health is. While you continue to put misinformation, like unvetted photos, over the Amber Alert for a missing child, claiming that it's backed up information, verified information, when it's not. And you don't think about the stress that the parents are potentially going through. The parents of the case that you're actively inserting yourself like a goddamn used tampon in. And then you want to cry victim? You want to cry victim and try to blame people on the internet for calling you out on the public statements that you have stood on? You're threatening to sue over your public statements that are getting addressed back at you. I have never in my life seen somebody attention seek so much in my life. But the audacity to you have the nerve to do what you're doing and then cry victim, once again taking the focus off of the missing child. Once again, a missing child you're trying to one up here. A missing child. All for some clicks and views and aspects on YouTube. Think about that. I don't know what you're babbling on and on about. It ain't going to turn out good for you. I'm not going to review you right now because I don't have that much time nor attention, and I like to get my beauty sleep. And this is like a walk in the park for me. Your words will be there. We'll address it. You're making statements on a public platform involving yourself in a missing person's case, a missing child's case. And you want us to have sympathy for you, and you meanwhile are claiming you're a victim. Well, once again, taking the light off of the victim, taking the focus off of the victim. This is the issue with creators like you. It's not about the victim. It's about you. The disgusting lengths that some of these people will go to. Unfucking believable. Anyways, sorry. I had to get that off my chest because the audacity of this bitch to sit over there and cry after she continues to insert herself in these cases and take the focus off of the victim over and over and over again. I ain't responsible for your health. I ain't responsible for anything that goes on. You have chosen to pull up a seat at the table. You have a public YouTube channel that makes you open for criticism just like any of the rest of us. I was doxxed by a woman that had 90K subs because I was calling her out on exploiting a tragedy. Do you think you scare me? Not one bit. BHB, the first person that you tried to throw under the bus with clipped and recorded phone calls, called me and threatened me on the phone. I laughed. It was hysterical to me because I will stand 10 toes down when it comes to protecting victims and their family. And people like you who exploit these tragedies and then cry victim, it's like a walk in the park to cuss you guys out and tell you about yourselves. Because these victims and these families deserve better. And until people like you stop exploiting these cases, it'll continue. Sorry, guys. I guess I needed to unload before I went to bed tonight. Hey, Thor. Hey, y'all. Hey, Trey. Forgetting to whisper. Laura, Cheesy Weezy, Layla. Y'all Nana's not drunk. Meowsaurus. Sorry, guys. This is like, story night. Hello, everybody. Wolfie. She's, yeah. Y'all, I reviewed a fucking video that she was on panel with. Yeah, her name's in the title, but Jesus. Hey, Stargazer Mom. Running Bear. Hey, y'all. Aw, thank you, Laura. Aw, thank you, 12 Gauge Phillips. Y'all, this is just some sick shit, though. Think about what I said. Think about it. Like, she is once again taking attention off of the victims. Think about that. Her little antics here and inserting herself in this case is the reason why she was mentioned today. She doesn't get that. She came on here recording people's phone calls and then releasing them for content. And she keeps involving herself with the family members of these cases and people who are actively out there on the ground attempting to search or do whatever. Like, you're taking the focus off the victim over and over again. How the fuck do you expect me to respect you? What is wrong with these people that think that they are owed something and it's called respect? When you come in and show us that you have no dignity, integrity, pride, anything, and you have no give a shit about the victims, you are the lowest of low. I'm sorry. Somebody has to step in and start protecting these families. We have to start using our collective voices and saying enough is enough. These families deserve better. These victims deserve better. We have such a mental health crisis in the United States as is. And she's over here crying the victim and trying to use that fucking, get the fuck out of here with this shit. You're missing the point and you're making yourself a victim again. What the fuck? It's so, ah. Oh my gosh, cheesy weezy Cal Val. Yeah, she is. Hey, Adam Harris. Yeah, Running Bear. And it's just ridiculous. And they're really pissed because people are like, I'm so proud of some of this community right now too, because everybody's pretty much standing up and saying enough is enough. And I'm really, really glad to see that. This is where everybody connected before, was speaking up against exploitation of the victims and their family. Yes, everybody has a different way about going about it and how they do it, but it matters. Collectively, we've got to start standing up and speaking out and saying enough is enough. Rabbit spoke on it a little bit tonight, and she said she's been asked to cover this case, and she said she will not. And she's true crime. Like, Rabbit is true crime, and she will not, because she does not want to muddy the water any more than it already is. And she doesn't want to be in the algorithm with that type of bullshit. And I don't blame her. And I have such respect for that. That's integrity. Like, that's integrity. This shit's just old, y'all. It really is. Hey, Vic. I'll be damned if you're going to blame me for health issues. My God, like, how ignorant. Read the fucking room. Honey, like, you had my name in your mouth real smooth tonight, and I have never even fucked with you. I barely even did a video on you. You do not want my attention, promise you that. Because I am like a dog with a fucking bone. And when I've got something to prove, I will show your ass on a platter in front of the entire world and keep those videos up and be proud to do it. Go back on my channel. Look and see. I'll turn you into a fucking cartoon like I did Unirock for shits and giggles. Because it's low-hanging fruit. You make this fucking easy. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. You're an embarrassment. Truthfully. I don't have to call you names. I can do it intellectually. It's just really a good release for me to use colorful language, okay? Couple of things I can't stand. Faith manipulation. Anybody that uses their belief systems to diminish or piss on another or to manipulate a situation. Can't stand that shit. Period. Point blank. End of story. Emotional manipulation. Can't stand that shit. And you said you said tonight that somebody needed to log off and fucking call a therapist. Read the room. Because I guarantee most of us have therapists and we're proud of it. And you should probably not be given advice that you probably won't take yourself. Just saying. All of us are pretty much broken on display in front of everybody, and we're okay with that. And that's why we sympathize with these victims and their families, because none of us are perfect. Shit happens. It's 2024. The world is upside down. Crazy things are happening. And if you think for 1 second that you would like to walk a day in these victims and their families' shoes for tragedies, when we have no reason to put them on a platter and fry their asses, we have nothing that tells us anything like that, especially law enforcement. And you guys are trying to do that anyways, with no care or concern. Families need to find their loved ones. And what you guys are doing is driving people away from asking for help, because you're making these families into horrible situations. You're looking for a negative outcome. That's what you thrive on. It gives you clicks and views. You guys are truly the epitome of a crime circus. Crime tourists. That's a great one for you too. These are people's real lives. These are things that most of us deal with on a daily basis. These are some of the biggest fears that some of us special needs moms have. It's reality. And if you ever would want to step a day in their shoes, we know that you couldn't take it. You can't even take it criticized over your own fucking statements and things that you've done on the internet publicly. You want to threaten and try to manipulate with using your health and emotional manipulation? No, we don't do that. I'm 40 fucking 1 years old. I don't play these games with a 13 and 14-year-old. I'm damn sure not going to play them with a grown ass adult. You can bet your fucking bottom dollar on that. My little girls have more empathy and sympathy for grown ass adults like you because they pity you and they've been through hell and back. But they would never do the shit that you grown adults do. They know right from wrong and they know that this is too far because they know and have been taught that not everybody has an easy life. And it's okay to be broken. And it's okay to have mistakes in your past. And it's okay to have issue in this and that. And in your worst moments, you wouldn't want to be judged. You wouldn't want all your skeletons on display in front of everybody else and letting them pick through your garbage and comb through it and judge every fucking inch of everything that you've used without any reason. We don't know. Now, granted, they could, we don't know. We just have no clue. But I'm in the class that I will continue to give these families grace until law enforcement says otherwise. And I'll be damned if the fucking fellow creator on this app, a grown ass adult, is going to try to manipulate everybody into thinking that she's the victim. She fucking said she's the victim. She used the words, "You're not going to do that to a victim," as she's deleting comments out of her chat. The fuck is happening? Yeah, Terry, it does. Ay, 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 y'all. Hey, Pete. And that's some snake ass shit. Like, tell me you are not understanding the bigger picture without telling me. She's sitting there and she says that her call with BHB that she released wasn't supposed to be released. And I'm like, did you just fail to miss the point that you were recording phone calls, intentionally holding them to turn around and release them when you got mad at somebody? Like, did you fail to like read the room and understand that that's what you just admitted to? It's, but no, she just turns and twists it into nothing about her recording the calls. It was the creator that she released the calls to. It was their fault because they were never supposed to release that. Like, what? What is happening here? I can't, y'all. Anyways, that's just some crazy shit. Absolutely cheesy. Like, we just don't. Oh, her name, Marcy, her name is Crime Sleuthing. I was actually shocked. I was like, I get an honorable mention. Look at me go. She forgets that. Well, I know she knows because she definitely watches me way more than she'd like to admit the way my name rolled off of her tongue. She always has had this like utter disdain for me because I called her out on that Betty shit way back then. And I was like, fuck, nope, out of my chat. Fuck you. Nope. And then anytime somebody would come in under like a similar name, I'd be like, oh, are you that fucking idiot? Because I couldn't stand her. And I've always said shit like sporadically through lives about how I don't like her. And she knows it. So she knows who I am. But it was just, what the fuck? I get an honorable mention and I only did half a live on her. This is fucking crazy, though, these people. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I had to get that off my chest, though. I was like, what the hell? Lindsay, at first, I didn't understand what she was talking about when I went in there because I had missed that. I had checked out earlier, and that all happened over the span of me not being online. And I was like, what the fuck? And I went and looked while I was listening to her, and sure shit, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, she altered. All I had to do was look, and she altered the community or like her community tab, the picture on her community tab. She took the TBI Amber Alert and posted a photo over it, said it was vetted. And then I was able to go over to Dietz's and fast forward really fast and listen to like what happened. And I was like, oh, sure shit, she did do that. Crazy. Laura, I don't even know, to be honest. Yeah, y'all, Nana's not drunk. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I know, Mystery. I'm headed to bed. I was just like, that is not happening. When she started to do the whole crying thing and doing the victim thing, I was like, this is the focus that I'm exactly talking about. Like, this is the problem I have with this shit. And this is why it continues to need to be talked about. Really. Yeah, I don't like Avery. I've known who Avery was since Facebook days, so jury's out there for me, but I don't got no bones to pick right there right now. This other one is a problem. That's the one that called the TBI. But that's a whole other ball game. That's a whole other deal. I've talked about that some like woo. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, me too. Me too. Tornado weather. Oof. I see a therapist weekly and I don't even have a channel. There's nothing wrong with I know. I was like, wait, what? Like, we're just not doing this. We're not doing this. Anyways, good night, Laura. I just had to speak on that right quick though, because what the absolute hell? Like, we're not doing that. That's not what we're doing. Oh, Mystery, thank you. Yeah, I don't ever check. Oh, your daughter's in Sandusky. They're getting tornadoes in Ohio. Shitty weather. All right, y'all. I'm going back to watching Hoarders in bed. That's what I'm doing. Kyle and I are like old people. You guys forget. We fall asleep sitting on the couch half the time at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. We wake up and we're like, what happened? Oh, okay, Mystery. I'll check it. Ooh, you guys stay safe. If you guys are having crazy weather, stay safe. Yeah, Running Bear. Can you imagine how exhausted the TBI is from fucking YouTubers? Seriously? Hey, Smiles. Um, Truthfully though, if you think about it, like how exhausting for investigative agencies to waste so many resources vetting grown ass adults who are continuing to insert themselves in cases. Like, what a waste of resources. Do they not understand? Like, we don't have enough resources as is. And then here they go wasting them. Like, I just can't. And then there's a whole live stream being done about glasses. And it's like, they have confirmed that they haven't confirmed anything about them. It's super simple. Why continue to push these narratives of other things? And then to make yourself a victim and try to take attention off the case in other ways, this is the exact problem. This is why you're getting called out, because you guys insert yourselves and try to take the focus off the victims by making these ridiculous things up and doing the craziest shit. All right, y'all, I got to get off my soapbox because I could go on and on and on. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll see you guys. We'll review it tomorrow. It'll be fun. Have a good night, y'all.